Number 7 is buy something to advance your health. Now, one of the things that I like to talk about is if you want to live a happy and fulfilling life, you have to live a fit life. And the way you live a fit life is by understanding the 4 different fitnesses in your life. I call this my quadrifit theory, where I believe there are 4 different fitnesses in life. You have to be physically fit, mentally fit, spiritually fit, and financially fit. And this is where you want to be investing in these different types of fitnesses. What this means is if you are obese, if you're not eating healthy, if you know that you're not physically healthy, take care of this sooner rather than later, because everything compounds. Money compounds, knowledge compounds, but bad habits also compound. If you're physically unhealthy, this is the only vehicle you get. Your body is the only vehicle you get. Take care of it. Invest in it. Get a gym membership. Get a nutritional coach. Get a trainer. Get help to be more physically fit. If you're mentally unfit, if you're surrounded by toxic people, if you're depressed, if you're anxious, if you're unhappy, invest in this. Get a therapist, get a consultant, go out and get other therapies, get other help to help you on your mental health side of things. On your spiritual fitness, this doesn't have to be religious, this is your fulfillment. What is the reason for you getting up every single morning? And especially as you start to make more money, this is going to become so much more important, because you can have $1 million in the bank, but if you have no sense of purpose, well, now who cares? Right? And so this is where now understanding what is your sense of purpose? What are you here for? What is the reason for getting out of bed every single morning? If you need help with this, invest in a coach to help you with this. Same with your financial fitness. Invest in your financial fitness. Invest in your financial well-being. Read books. Take classes. Invest time into your financial health and your financial education, because most of this stuff are things we never learned in school. And you want to know, how do you invest your money? What are good ways to invest? How do you live below your means? How do you now go out to earn more money? Invest in your financial education. Number 8 is buy a wedding ring. Now this one, let me give you a little bit of a background on. I got married in my late 20s. And as somebody who grew up in a traditional Indian house, let me tell you, the Indian weddings are expensive. And I knew early on in my life that I wanted to pay for my wedding, and that mindset helped me to start planning to save money for things like my wedding ring before I even met my wife. So if you know you want to get married, you also know that getting married comes with expenses like a wedding, if that's something that you want, and a wedding ring. And if you know these are parts of a marriage, well, might as well start saving for that and planning for that, even if you haven't met your partner yet, because if you plan on meeting a partner one day, you know that these expenses are going to come up, so might as well start planning for it sooner rather than later. Because what you don't want to do is either A, figure out, we can't afford the wedding of your dreams. We can't afford the wedding of my dreams. Or even worse, B, let's go into debt to fund the wedding of our dreams. Don't do that. If you know you want to get married, start planning for it sooner rather than later. Put some additional cash aside, especially if you're young, to start planning for this, because now you're thinking ahead. You know that you're going to have this expense in the future, and now you're starting to put this money aside to fund that when the time comes. And I don't talk too much about this, but let me just add this in there right now. A good partner is also a very good investment, because a good partner is going to help you want to achieve your goals, and a good partner is going to want to work with you on your financial goals together. Maybe they don't come from the same I want to become financially successful mindset as you, but they need to work with you to get on the same page, and understanding now that if you want to have a good life partner, you got to be on the same page financially as well. Now, they might not be at the same page today. That's okay. Most people are not at that page of I want to become financially successful. Most people are in that mindset of who cares? Let's just spend money. That's normal. But this is where you want to work with your partner and talk to them about, hey, let's work together to become wealthy so we can have more nice things in the future. And now understanding, how can you speak your partner's language? If your partner is a guy, talk to them with more logic. If your partner is a female, talk to them with more emotional side of things, because guess what? Female brains work more emotionally, male brains work more logically. Understand how to speak with your partner. If you're looking for a good book on this, I recommend a book called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, which talks about how men and women think and talk differently. Number 9, spend some money on what touches the ground. Somebody told me this a while back, and it stuck with me, and I've seen the impact of this now in my 30s. Things that touch the ground include your shoes, your tires, and your bed. And these are 3 places where it makes sense for you to invest some money into. Talking about shoes first. I used to run my shoes into the ground. Well, if we go before that, I used to be really into shoes, but my parents didn't want to buy me a $100 pair of Jordans, so I used to buy $20 or $25 fake Jordans from China. I don't remember how I got them, but somehow I found a way to get these $25 fake Jordans from China. Then, when I realized that I don't want to keep spending money on shoes because I was trying to be financially smart, I ran my shoes into the ground where I had holes in the shoes, and then I would duct tape my shoes because I didn't want to spend any money on shoes. Then I started learning about investing your money into things that touch the ground, and I started buying nicer shoes. Now, I love walking. It's a weird thing that I like doing, but I love walking. I can spend hours walking at a time. And when I was walking in shoes that were not very good, I realized that, well, my knees would start to hurt and my back would start to hurt, and it was just weird. And I was like, why am I feeling these pains? Like, I'm physically fit, I'm doing all these things. But then I started investing in nicer shoes, and that was kind of weird for me. Like, why would I want to pay $120 for a pair of shoes? That's a lot of money. But then I started doing that, and I started to realize, whoa, immediately my knees stopped hurting. I started to walk a lot better, and I could walk easier. And so now I buy nicer shoes, and I buy shoes much more often, which is weird to me because before I'd buy shoes for years and never change them. Now I'm buying multiple pairs of shoes a year because I put a lot of miles on my shoes. Same with my bed. I spent a lot of money on the bed that me and my wife sleep on, and it helps. If you can get a good night of sleep, well, then you can get up and be more energized and do your work even better. And even when you're tired, especially if you're living in a colder state, I'm from Detroit. If you're living in a colder state where you're seeing snow on the ground, especially have good tires, because if you don't have good tires, well, you're risking your life, okay? So get some good tires, get a good bed, get a good pair of shoes, because that can help you in all different parts of your life. Number 10, invest in travel strategically. Now, for most of my life, I was never a big traveler. I went to India pretty often as a kid because I had family in India. Once in a while, I'd go to Cancun, and then maybe we'd go drive to Toronto or something. That was kind of the extent of my travel growing up as a kid. But then once I got into my late 20s, that was when I started traveling a little bit more. And this travel started to happen more because I was invited to travel for work. And I was always hesitant to travel because I never really wanted to spend the money on travel. But when I was able to go for work and have it as a business expense, now it made more sense for me to travel. But one of the things that I learned as I was traveling is I was able to, number one, meet more people, but I was also able to see different business opportunities that I wasn't able to see when I was just in my office. And it sounds weird saying this because I'm not a huge fan of necessarily just going to conferences and doing that fake networking where you're just passing out business cards with people that don't care. I don't like doing that. But there is value in going to events where you know you're going to be able to meet certain types of people, and you can talk to people, and you can learn how different people do certain things. And not only that, you'll see different cultures in different parts of even the country that you're living in. Like for me, when I started spending time in SoCal, San Diego and LA, I was shocked because the culture in San Diego and LA is very different than Detroit. And then when I got to spend time in Manhattan, I was shocked again because the culture in Manhattan is very different than the culture in LA, which is very different than the culture in Detroit. And you start to realize, wow, people do business very different there versus there versus there. And now for me, I'm learning about how business is done every different place so I can apply it to my own. And this has helped me make a lot more money, but also understand the way different people operate, the way different people spend money, the way different people think about money, especially because, well, everything that we do at Briefs Media is about financial education. Our goal is to help people be better with money, and it helps to understand how different people approach financial situations differently because people in different parts of the country look at money very differently. And if you're not sure what Briefs Media is the company that we run. We have a product called Market Briefs. This is our flagship newsletter. It is a free newsletter where every day my team is working to break down what's happening in things like the economy, the housing market, the stock market, crypto, and the global economy into a fun, witty, and easy to read newsletter. You can read Market Briefs in less than 5 minutes every morning, and it's completely free. So if you haven't joined Market Briefs yet and you want to join, it's completely free. I got the link to how you can join down in the description below, where you can go to briefs.co/market. That's briefs.co/market. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.